In every legend, there's a sliver of truth. In every tragedy, a forgotten warning. They Were Both Found Dead is your guide through the eerie and the unexplained, where history collides with horror, and not everyone makes it out alive.
Hi, welcome to They Were Both Found Dead. My name is Adrian.
And I'm Ramsey, and today we're talking about being stranded. Good topic.
Yeah.
Adrian's choice.
My choice. It's going to be a good one, guys. Stay for the long ride.
How have you been?
Today, I've been good. Been planning a trip to New York. Yay.
That's exciting. Where are you guys going?
Broadway show, Empire State Building. I'm doing a talk show for the Kelly Clarkson show.
You're going to the Kelly Clarkson show? That's hilarious. I love that.
Yeah. They were giving out free tickets, and I was like, oh, shit, yeah, hell yeah. I'll do it.
Hell yeah.
So, I'm excited for that. Yay. And today has just been long, busy. What about you?
The only interesting thing that's happened to me lately is we were at this place I love. It's a restaurant in my hometown that I really love to go to. And it was me and my dad and my fiance, Cody. And we're sitting there, and this table over from us, it was like a very old couple, like senior, and then like a middle-aged couple, or two middle-aged people. I don't think they were a couple. I actually don't know. I think they were. I don't know. It doesn't matter. And then a couple other middle-aged people. And they were getting so hammered, like unbelievably hammered. And then the server that was there, like, we love him. He's our favorite server. He knows us. He's cool. I don't know his name. I wish I did. They don't wear name tags. But he's Hispanic, and they were being so racist to him. They asked him if he speaks English.
Racist?
Yes, racist. And we were like eavesdropping. It got to the point where us and other tables, like, you could tell we're actively listening, being like, let these people say one more thing. Let them step a little bit too much out of line. And you could tell the server was handling it, like, really well. And, like, de-escalating it like how cops are supposed to, you know?
Oh, that's horrible. I hate that. Yeah. Ugh, people are so bold these days.
So that happened. Yes. That sucked. In other news.
Yeah. What we're doing today is an experiment. As you can see, we're not together. We're in different states? No, cities. We're in different cities right now. So we're going to try...
And states.
Really?
Yep.
We're going to try this out, see if it works. And if it doesn't, then we'll figure something else out. But for now, this is it. All right, so stranded. Yay. Let's start with me. We're starting with me today, then Ramsey. Only two on this part one.
We're skipping something. So first thing first, like always, we have the bite-sized terror.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, my God, Ramsey.
A lot of you might recognize the airy TikTok sound that we are named after. Here's a short clip.
But it exploded, and they were both found dead. She must have been out of her head.
That sound is actually where we got the name of our podcast. When I first heard it, I thought it was just like creepy internet lore, but when I showed the song to my dad the other night, he stopped me and was like, this is like not new. That's an old wives' tale we used to hear growing up.
Oh, what?
So the story goes like this. A woman gives her poodle a bath, and trying to dry it quickly, she puts the dog in the microwave. The result is obviously tragic, and the punchline is that when help arrives, they were both found dead. The dog from the microwave, and the woman from the shock of realizing what she'd done. It's one of those stories that was never true, but everyone seems to know someone who heard it happened. The classic, my cousin's, neighbor, sister's, dog, step-aunt actually had a friend who died that way. We've all heard one of those. So long before TikTok started a podcast, that tale was passed around as a warning about like new technology and human stupidity and people like not knowing how to use it, which I guess I never really made that connection. I didn't think deep enough about it. But it is just another reminder that the internet did not invent dark stories. It just gave them a new place to live.
Huh, that's interesting. No, I never knew that was like something bigger than that.
Yeah, no, I had never heard it before. Just that weird ass.
No, yeah, that song is crazy.
Oh, that was really bad. That's really bad.
We had a little really good bite-sized terror. I liked it.
I was like, what are you doing? So, stranded.
Stranded, yes. So for my first topic, I'm going to be talking about the Andes plane crash. I'm sure a lot of people already know about this. Do you know about this, Ramsey?
I think I've heard of it, the plane crash. I know a plane crash in the Andes. Was it the one that... I know... No. I know I've heard of it, but I obviously clearly have no idea what happened.
It's actually a movie in Netflix right now. I watched it and it was crazy. I recommend everybody to watch that movie. It's in Spanish though, so you're gonna have to watch a dub. It's called The Society of Snow. And it was popular for a bit there, so I'm sure a lot of people saw it. It's about that. On October 13, 1972, an Uruguayan Air Force plane carrying the members of the Old Christian Club rugby team, along with friends, family, and crew, departed to Montevideo for Santiago, Chile. The flight was expected to be routine. Instead, it ended in one of the most extreme survival situations ever recorded.
Okay.
As the aircraft crossed the Andes Mountains, poor visibility and navigational errors led the pilots to descend too early. The plane struck a mountain range, tearing off both wings and the tail before the fuselage slid down a glacier and came to the rest more than 13,000 feet above sea level. So really high up.
Okay.
12 people died on impact. Others were left with severe injuries. The survivors found themselves stranded in freezing conditions with little clothing, no shelter beyond the broken plane, and no reliable way to signal for help. Ooh.
Do you ever think about those types of stories when you're flying a plane and are like,
Yes.
damn, I hope that doesn't happen to me?
I don't think about being stranded. I think about dying on impact.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's lovely. Nice, happy thoughts while you fly.
Yeah. I feel like it's horrible because in plane crashes, you have like a solid, couple of minutes knowing that you're gonna die, and you just gotta accept that. That's sad. That's horrible.
Have you ever listened to the voicemails people left on 9/11?
Yes, and they're horrifying.
They are horrifying.
Horrible.
I will not include them here because holy shit, they're really hard.
Have you ever seen 9/11 calls? That's like morbid, like really bad.
Calls from 9/11?
No, 911, sorry. 911 calls.
Yeah, it feels so private.
It is, yeah.
I try not to intrude on people like that, but the ones that are the actual killers.
Yeah.
And they're just being weird as hell, like Chris Watts. Those ones I'm like, yeah, spread that around. Share how weird they were.
Yeah, it's kind of like there's something like it's really bad, you can't stop looking at it kind of situation.
Like a train wreck.
Yeah.
Or a car crash.
Exactly. So, in the days that followed, survival became a matter of organization and restraint. Food was extremely limited, small amounts of chocolate, candy, and wine. The group rationed carefully, but the supplies lasted only a short time. About a week after the crash, a radio confirmed their worst fears. The search had been called off. Authorities believed no one was alive. From that point forward, the survivors understood that rescue was unlikely.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad. That would be so hard as a family too. You'd have to believe they're still out there, but now we're just not looking.
Yeah, a lot of people, their families were with them on the flight too. So, they're there with them.
So there's not even people to fight for them. That's so sad.
Yeah, I know. So, friends, family, crew, all on there. Conditions in the Andes were relentless. Temperatures dropped well below freezing at night. Snow blindness and dehydration became constant threats. Snow had to be melted for water, costing energy the group could barely spare.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I know. You would think that you would drink as much as you can with the snow, but it's cold out there, dude. Yeah, I don't think you can really do that.
Also, snow is so dirty.
True. In times of need, Several passengers died from injuries in the days after the crash. Then, more than 2 weeks later, an avalanche struck the fuselage while many were sleeping inside. 8 people were killed instantly.
No!
Yeah, those who survived...
That's horrible!
I know, but those who survived were buried in snow and spent days digging themselves out. It's already bad. How is this happening?
That's so impressive that they did that. Holy crap.
I know, a lot of people died though, 8 people from that impact alone.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's really sad. The movie really shows you all of it. And it's really good. I recommend it.
What's the name of the movie?
The Society of Snow. Netflix.
Okay, damn. Okay, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, by that point, there was no food left. With no animals, no vegetation, and no remaining supplies, the group faced a decision with no alternatives. Oh, and by the way, in the movie, a guy was talking about, after the avalanche, he felt like somebody grabbing on his legs while he was above snow. So, one of the people was so buried that they were grabbing on his legs.
Ah.
While they were in the snow, and he had to propel himself off of them to get out of the snow.
Oh my gosh.
And imagine that.
That reminds me of when the Astro World documentary on Netflix, also Trainwreck Astro World.
Yeah.
The people talk about feeling other people underneath them, and everyone just trying to stay up, but you have to kind of push down on someone else in order to stay up, and living with that afterwards.
Oh my god. Ugh, that's like the worst way to go. Yeah, no. Sad. Really sad.
Suicide pact.
With no remaining supplies, the group faced a decision with no alternatives. After long discussion, they agreed to consume the bodies of those who had died. The choice was deeply difficult, especially for members who were religious, but it was seen as necessary. The dead were treated with respect and food was shared equally. It was not taken lightly, but it allowed the group to continue living. You gotta do what you gotta do. The only thing is, like, that's their family members, that's their friends. So you're chopping off, like, somebody's leg that
Could you imagine
knew, like, your friends.
eating like your sister's leg?
Okay, thank you for that.
That's
I
what
was
you gotta
thinking
think
more like
about.
your leg.
Oh no! See, that's not personal enough. Even that
Yeah,
could
you're
be.
right.
Yeah, I provide plenty of meat.
Oh, wow.
It's better than when we talked about those one people. I can't remember what episode it is. I'll put it here. But it was a bite-sized terror, and they had killed the guy to eat him, as opposed to letting him die. And but they also want to drink his blood, so that's why they killed him instead of just letting him die.
Yeah, I remember when you talked
Better
about
than that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they were already dead. And at least it's like, oh, I don't want to, that sounds kind of insensitive, but it's cold, so they're kind of preserved.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, that matters. Would you be okay if your cats, if, like, you died in the apartment and your cats were starving and they ate you? Would you be upset?
Oh, no. Why would I be upset at that?
I agree. Why would people be upset? Exactly!
Now, if I fall in a coma or, like, paralysis and they start eating me now, like, well, I can feel the whole thing.
They can tell you're still alive.
Oh, okay.
Unless they
good.
start eating you when you're in a deep sleep.
Oh. Okay.
Which they don't, because
New
they
fear.
can tell you're alive. New fear. I mean, Ed ate his past owner, and he licks our toes sometimes, and you can tell. At least in my head. It's in his eyes. He remembers.
Is that a headcanon or is that true?
No, he ate his last, a little. Not all of it, but, a little.
They told
You
you
knew
that?
this.
Yeah.
It was in his adoption stuff.
It's still surprising to hear. Wow. Over the following weeks, the survivors adapted. They improved insulation inside the fuselage, created tools from debris, and organized responsibilities. You know what a fuselage is?
No, I mean, I assumed it was the walls.
Yeah, it's just the centerpiece of the plane.
Oh, okay. Pilot information.
Woo! Still, they knew they could not remain where they were. The crash site was too remote. Rescue teams would not find them. In December, 3 survivors attempted to walk out of the mountains with minimal equipment and limited food. 1 turned back due to exhaustion. The remaining 2 continued for days crossing ridges and glaciers until they reached lower elevations. Eventually, they encountered a Chilean farmer who alerted authorities. Thank God.
That's so brave. I'm glad that worked out.
Yeah, I know. Imagine reaching that point. Like, you just randomly see a farm and you're like, oh my God. Everything's over.
I love it when they have that happen in horror movies and then it's not good. It's actually the people that they're running from or something, or serial killers.
Yeah. True. Or they find a car and then villain just pops up in front of them and kills them or something. They love doing that shit.
I love it in a movie, not in real life.
No, definitely not. On December 22nd, 1972, helicopters reached the crash site. 16 people were rescued after spending 72 days in the Andes Mountains. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, when the story became public, attention focused largely on the decision to practice cannibalism. Later, investigators found no wrongdoing, and religious authorities stated the survivors had acted out of necessity. So, nobody was convicted for anything, of course.
Good, I agree.
Yeah. In the years that followed, many survivors spoke about the psychological impact of the experience. They described fear, grief, and long-term trauma, but also cooperation and shared responsibility. So sort of bad and good at the same time. Mm-hmm. But mostly bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. If you'd be able to move on from that, that takes a lot of a person.
I know. I don't know if I could ever live that off. I'd probably mention it every single... Well, no. If people died in that situation, probably not. But if nobody had died and I didn't have to eat people and I survived something like that, I would mention it every 3 seconds. Yes.
Yes. Once the cannibalism comes into play, it becomes a lot less cool of a story.
Yeah, definitely.
Unless you're a freak who's in a bar hey, I ate a guy, and then they leave because they don't want to be around you.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I wouldn't be. But that's mine. I hope you guys liked it. Watched the movie. Fantastic. That was only a synopsis. My next one is also a movie. It was in a movie. That's all I know. Yeah.
Love that. It's good movie stories.
True, you're right.
So, Adrian just talked a lot about snow, and so am I. But before anything else, it's important to understand who the Yuba County Five were, sometimes called the Hubs County Five. These were 5 adult men who knew each other through a local program for people with intellectual disabilities in Yuba City, California. Their names were Jack Madruga, who was 30 years old, William Sterling, 29, Ted Weiher, 32, Jack Hewitt, just 24, and Gary Mathias, who was 25. So 4 of the 5 had mild intellectual disabilities, and Gary Mathias lived with schizophrenia, though it was considered managed at the time. They were not helpless or childlike, as they were often unfairly portrayed later. They lived semi-independently, held jobs, followed routines, and were trusted by their families. What really bonded them was sports. They loved basketball, especially playing in Special Olympics events, and they took it seriously. Damn,
that was a jump scare. Jeez.
I usually don't put commentary in there, but yesterday I was practicing my script, and I was like, I'm going to ask Adrian a question right here, and so...
My name was right there.
Do you follow
Oh
any kind of
God.
basketball or anything?
No.
I like
The New York Knicks.
people who play basketball, like the Joker. I like him, and he basically plays the NBA to pay for his horse hobby, who he actually loves. But he loves his horses so much.
Are you serious?
There's videos of him winning the NBA championship, and he's like stone-faced, like, we won. Yeah, and then there's videos of his horse winning that championship, and he's sobbing.
Oh my god. That's so nice. I love that.
Koga su emocje savladale očigledno.
And now you are an NBA champion, Nicola. How does that feel?
It's good. It's good. The job is done. We can go home now. When is parade?
Thursday.
No. I need to go home.
Okay, well, they loved basketball. The men practiced together, talked upcoming games constantly. They also even planned their schedules around tournaments. On the night connected to their story, they had been excited about an upcoming basketball game they were supposed to play the next day. This wasn't just a hobby for them. It was pride, friendship, and structure. Being part of a team gave them confidence and identity, and everyone who knew them described how seriously they took it. Personality-wise, they were described as gentle, routine-driven, and loyal to each other. Jack Madruga was known as responsible and protective, often taking the lead. Ted Weiher was quiet and kind, someone who followed rules closely. Bill Sterling loved jokes and camaraderie, especially when it came to sports. Jack Hewitt was the youngest and described as eager and upbeat. And then Gary Mathias stood out as more outspoken and confident, someone who encouraged the others and pushed them socially. They trusted each other deeply, and that trust was a key part of understanding their story. Before anything went wrong, this was a group of friends who just wanted to watch games, play basketball, and feel included in the world around them.
Aw, don't say that.
The night the Yuba County Five disappeared began on February 24th, 1978. The 5 men had driven together from Yuba City to Chico, California to attend a college basketball game. This was a normal outing for them. They loved sports, followed schedules closely, and never missed their trips. After the game ended, they were expected to drive straight home. They had responsibilities the next day, including a Special Olympics basketball tournament they were excited about, and multiple family members expected to see them that evening or early the next morning. None of the men returned home that night, which is so weird because clearly they loved basketball and there was literally a tournament the next day. That obviously would be so important to them. Obviously, concerns started to grow quickly. By the next day, families began calling each other, confirming that no one had heard from them. This was unusual enough that it raised immediate red flags. These were men who followed routines and checked in. They did not disappear without telling someone. Also, if you hear a cat going meow in the background, it's Penny, and I'm so sorry. He's just very talkative.
I can hear it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So the families began calling each other, confirming that no one had heard from them. This was unusual enough that it raised immediate red flags. These were men who followed routines and checked in. They did not disappear without telling someone. A missing persons report was filed, and local law enforcement began searching routes the men would have normally taken between Chico and Yuba City. Years later, their car was found abandoned in a remote mountain area near Oroville, far from their expected route home. The vehicle was a Mercury Montego, and it appeared to be intact. It was not wrecked, out of gas, or stuck in a way that would clearly explain why they left it behind. There was fuel in the tank, the keys were missing, and the doors were unlocked. The location itself was confusing. It was high elevation, snow-covered, and not somewhere any of them were familiar with or had a reason to be.
Okay.
Weird.
Random.
Very weird.
Yeah.
So, at that point, the mystery shifted from a missing persons case into something far more unsettling. How 5 men who avoided unfamiliar places, especially dangerous terrain, ended up there was completely unclear. The discovery of the car only deepened the questions. Why were they there? Why did they leave the vehicle? What happened next?
Hope these get answered. How? Do they die? Oh no.
Up until that moment, that was what was known was simple and chilling. 5 men went to a basketball game, never came home, and their car was found where it never should have been. Months after the car was found, once the snow began to melt in the spring of 1978, searchers started uncovering answers they had feared but still weren't prepared for. The first major discovery was a Forest Service trailer deep in the mountains. Inside, searchers found the remains of Ted Weiher. He had lost a significant amount of weight and had died of exposure and starvation. What made this especially disturbing was that the trailer contained food, heating fuel, and supplies that would have kept someone alive for months. The food was untouched or partially opened in ways that suggested confusion rather than lack of access.
Maybe they were being chased and they got chased like really far away and they had to run out of the car. I don't know.
Okay, then why did they die of starvation? Well, at least Ted Weiher. Why is he dead of starvation in a trailer with food in it?
Oh, he died in the trailer. Oh, shoot. My bad.
He did.
Yeah, I have no idea. That's crazy. Yeah.
Really weird.
I have no idea.
And he also died of exposure when there was heating elements available.
Huh. I don't like this, Ramsey. I don't like these unanswered questions.
I don't either. No one does.
But whatever.
But if it's my problem,
All right.
making it your problem. So,
Sure.
the search...
Everybody's problem.
It's everyone's problem. Has this is like the ring, the tape in the ring. You show it to them, and you're like, now, I'm passing this on to you. That's what this podcast is.
Yeah, it is. And now we're passing it on to all our viewers.
It's true. Now we're all going to be worried about this. So,
Yeah.
the search expanded outward from the trailer. More remains were discovered. Nearby, the bodies of Jack Madruga and Bill Sterling were found together, scattered by animals and exposure. Their cause of death was determined to be hypothermia. One of the most haunting moments came when Bill Sterling's father was part of the search effort. While walking through the area, he discovered part of his son's backbone in the forest. It was a devastating, deeply personal moment that underscored how long the men had been out there and how harsh the conditions truly were. I can't even imagine finding your kid's bones. That makes me want to throw up.
How did he know that was his bones?
They found out later when he was holding it. He just knew it was bones, but then it was concerned to not just be one of their bones. It came from his son's body.
Yeah, that's horrifying. Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, there's a cat. Oh, there's 2 cats and they're making out. Heated rivalry live behind me.
Ew. That's anti-Christian.
What? Anti-Christian?
Anti-Christian propaganda.
Why? Later, the remains of Jack Hewitt were also found in the surrounding area. His bones were located between the car and the trailer, suggesting he may have separated from the others at some point. Unlike Ted, Jack Hewitt's remains were mostly skeletal, showing just how much time had passed before discovery. The 5th man, Gary Mathias, was never found. Despite extensive searches, no remains definitively linked to him were ever recovered, leaving his fate, to this day, unresolved.
I hate this.
We didn't say stranded and survived, we said stranded.
True, you're right, but still, I like the details with the stranded.
I agree. You're not getting with this one, sorry.
This is gonna mess with my mind. I don't like those that you really don't know, and it's like super like weird stuff that happened, like that one time in that podcast that you talked about that guy that was going back home.
Brandon Swanson, I think about him every single day. I was just going to bring him up. I completely agree.
Yeah, what episode is that?
That is the Unsolved Mysteries. I think that's like episode 3.
Yeah, Unsolved Mysteries. That one was crazy.
Go listen. In any case, what made these particular discoveries so unsettling wasn't just the deaths themselves, but the unanswered questions surrounding them. The men had shelter. They had food. They had each other. Yet something caused them to leave the car, split up, and make decisions that didn't align with their known behavior. Even in death, the case refused to make sense, leaving families and investigators with grief layered on top of confusion, and a mystery that still feels unfinished decades later. Over the years, dozens of theories have tried to explain what happened to the Yuba County Five. Do you have a theory?
It makes no sense. I'm guessing he was he must have been like held at gunpoint or something.
All 5 of them?
Or maybe he was paralyzed. No, I mean, I'm talking about the guy in the trailer. I'm trying to solve one here. Let me go section by section. There's just so much and so little.
Yeah. So because of all that,
What do you think?
I have no idea. I have 0. I usually have like some type of theory. I have no theory. But I've read a lot of theories.
Cat feeder.
Well, because of how hard it is to like get a concrete theory in this case, because like what even happened? Some of the theories I've read focus on confusion and exposure, suggesting the men became lost after leaving their car and made a series of fatal decisions in harsh winter conditions. Even those theories though, like why was their car there in the first place? Weird. Others question why they left a perfectly operable vehicle in the first place, especially when none of them were known for risk-taking or wandering into unfamiliar terrain. The distance traveled, the separation of the group, and the unused supplies in the trailer have led many to believe that there is more influencing their choices than fear of the cold alone, which is like what you're saying. Having said that, and while remembering that these were provably capable young men, one does have to call into a question if their mental capacities played any role in the horrible events. Matthias's family tells a story about a house fire. The ceiling of his bedroom was quite literally fully aflame from a fire that was consuming the home, and Matthias refused to leave his room, insisting he had to work early the next morning and needed to go to sleep. He had to be pulled out of there against his will because he wanted to go sleep. He had work. I mean, period, King.
Huh. Yeah.
The possibility of foul play has never fully gone away. While there is no direct evidence of violence, the circumstances raise uncomfortable questions. Some have wondered whether the men encountered someone on the road who frightened or misled them, causing them to abandon the car. Others have speculated about an argument, a perceived threat, or even an accidental confrontation that escalated panic. None of these theories have been proven. The lack of a clear reason for their actions keeps them alive. There were also reported witnesses whose accounts complicate the story. One man claimed he saw a group matching the men's description in the mountains the night they disappeared, possibly accompanied by a woman and a baby, though this sighting was never confirmed. Another witness reported seeing a car similar to theirs stuck in the snow with people nearby, but the details were inconsistent. Some accounts suggest cries for help were heard that night, while others have been misremembered or influenced by the growing publicity of the case.
Huh.
What makes these... Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
What makes these sightings so difficult to evaluate is that none could be definitively verified, yet none could be fully dismissed either. Time, weather, and distance blurred memories, and by the time the bodies were found, many potential leads had gone cold. In the end, the theories remain just that. Possibilities layered on top of unanswered questions. Whether it was fear, confusion, outside interference, or something else entirely, the story of the Yuba County Five ends without a single, clear explanation, leaving space for speculation, grief, and the lingering sense that something vital is still missing.
Wow.
Think about that when you lay in bed tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. You love doing that.
Welcome!
It's either something absolutely horrifying or something that you have no answers for. Usually with you.
They were both found dead, including me later when Adrian gets a hold of me.
Yeah. No, that was a good one. Good one.
Thank you.
I might look it up afterwards and see more theories.
Who knows? Hopefully someday we find Matthias and somehow that answers all the questions, but it was in the 70s.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah. He probably did.
But that is everything for part 1. I hope you enjoyed it. We have more tales to tell in part 2.
Yeah, it's not necessary to watch part 1 to watch part 2. They're interchangeable. Don't matter. But you can watch both.
You should.
Yeah, you should. All right. Thank you, guys. See you later.
Bye.
Have a good night. Or day.
Something. Have a good something.
All right.
Bye.